All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to SA Voice Podcast. My name is Leighton. I'm usually one of the executive producers, but we're going to switch stuff up this week and try to get a different feel, different taste. Mr. Reed is going to jump behind the machines today. He's going to be doing the producing for us, and Danny and I are going to co-host this episode. So, Danny, what do we got going on this week?
So we got talking to Jana. Okay. She's the Student Success Facilitator. One of six student success facilitators, and she'll be, just talking to us, some tips and tricks about, time management and how to, overcome some, some stress management type techniques and stuff like that. Be a more successful student.
That's good. I feel like it's needed this time of year. You know what I mean? We're going into midterms. Reading week's right around the corner. It's
the best week.
Still the best week. It's still the middle of February. And you know what? I'm looking forward to this because I'm kind of sick of school. I kind of want to just learn some stuff about how I can just get back into it. I'm finding motivation's kind of lacking right now, so it'll be a good episode.
Yeah, I'm actually the opposite right now because I usually get really hard winter blues, but this year I try to like fight it and overcome it. So like right now I feel motivated. But we're coming into reading week. So I feel like that's when I'm going to lose my motivation.
Yeah, because you're not here.
Because I'm not here, exactly. And then so coming back into it, I'm going to have to take a lot of these tips, and to get back into it, coming back from it
so
instead of the opposite.
What are some things that you use maybe on a daily or weekly basis that to kind of keep your motivation going?
Man, I got to keep busy. Because if I don't keep busy, then I'm just going to sink down onto that couch and play video games or just not do anything. Yeah. So basically it's like something that I've always done, is just like I just make my bed in the morning. Yeah. You know what I mean? I get that done. I get that out of the way. Boom, what's the next thing? Okay. And then boom, what's the next thing? What's the next thing, you know? So, and also like ironically enough, taking a shower.
I have to.
You
kind of got to get in that rhythm, get in that routine, man. Yeah. I can't leave the house without a shower.
But even if you just take a shower, you feel like you got something done. Yeah. Sure. It's like, all right, cool, I'm clean. And then like, boom, now what's the next thing after that? So even the smallest, simplest things, are at least for me, are good ways to get going, to get just jump started.
Momentum, eh?
Exactly. And then it just snowballs usually. Because I noticed that the days that I don't, then it's just,
Well, it'll be interesting to see kind of what we just chatted about and what kind of tips Jana has for it. So looking forward to this episode. Should be a good chat, and let's get into it.
Yeah. All right.
Today we have Jana with us.
Hi.
And we're going to be talking about some tips and tricks to kind of get students and people in general kind of over the winter blues. So now we're mid-February. Things are kind of in the middle of the pack. People don't really know what's going on, and it's still the dead of winter, and we're looking forward to spring. We want to kind of talk to you about what kind of resources are available to people and students to use to kind of get through this kind of time of the year. So welcome to the show. Thanks for being with us. And can you mind just telling us a little bit about who you are and how you got into the position you are here at St. Lawrence?
No problem.
Thank you.
So my name is Jana. I am one of 6 student success facilitators on the Kingston campus. There are also student success facilitators on Brockville and Cornwall. And we're currently divided by school. So I work specifically in the School of Applied Science, but there is 2 in the School of Business, 1 in Community Justice Studies, 1 in Health Sciences, 1 in Skilled Trades. I think that's it.
What about the health and fitness people?
Health and fitness is part of health sciences.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, what about the
skilled trades, hairstylist? You missed the little scissor movement there. Yeah. Yep, that's part of skilled trades.
Oh,
skilled
that
trades,
makes sense.
Hospitality and skilled trades.
Okay. And School of Business does.
They have 2.
Do they do BBA and all that kind of stuff too?
They sure do.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. So they're student success facilitators for each of the schools, and Brockville and Cornwall have 2 student success facilitators that kind of share the lot. And what we do is kind of a cross between an academic advisor and just an all-round, super awesome, helpful person. Yeah. So as students are struggling with all of the things, any of the things, one of the things, a specific question, and they're not exactly sure how to answer it, how to find some solutions, how to problem solve or troubleshoot, they come to us, and we help them either work through the possibilities or potentially just make some referrals to all the other tremendous resources at the college.
Gotcha. Like a life coach. for the college.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually just went to make an appointment with the student success facilitator.
There you go.
Yeah, so and she was really cool, really helpful, and all it is was I just went in and made an appointment. It's like, hey, I need to go this day, and she's like, oh yeah, cool, and then she was, talking me through the things that I needed, to be ready for that appointment. So it was even that short little 10 minutes was a lot of fun. It was really cool.
Yeah. So is it mostly an open door policy, or for example, do you identify students who may be at risk and then reach out to them, or how does that work for students coming to you guys?
All of the things.
All of the things.
All of the above. So we do have an open door policy. If our door is open, please stop by. My office happens to be across from the coldest water fountain in the school.
Ooh, cold water. We know that's the good stuff. Yeah.
Cold
It's too cold right now for cold water. Room temperature water is cold water.
That's right. Anyway.
Temperature water is kind of extra hot because it's cold outside. Anyway, regardless.
That's a whole nother episode.
You just blew my mind. What is going on here?
Next week on Voice Podcast. Room temperature water.
So if our door is open and you're walking by, sometimes you just want to borrow a pencil. Sometimes you just want somebody to check in, touch base. Sometimes you're having a moment or somebody's like, whoa, there's somebody who's looking a little upset down the hall, and we will go and gather that person. At the beginning of the year, we have students do we call it a student strengths inventory. We have them do this little survey that might give us some early indicators.
Wait, every student or just ones that come see you?
No, every incoming student. This is new, so you guys didn't do this.
No, I didn't do this.
So it's called a Beacon Student Strengths Inventory, and it gives students an opportunity because we know a lot. I know I'm loud. A lot of the challenges with school isn't always academic. It is often the other stuff in life. So you all are super duper engaged. You're here in the Student Association. Campus engagement is a really strong indicator of student success. So somebody could be really academically strong, but maybe not engaged.
Okay.
So
not me.
No, yeah.
I'm the opposite.
Yeah, well,
engaged, but not academically strong.
But that's okay. These are all the different kind of piece points that we are looking for. And if students are doing this inventory, this strengths inventory, it can kind of say hey, maybe you're not really good at reaching out and asking for help, or maybe you need some academic support, maybe you need some campus engagement. And we see that really early before the problems even potentially are there. And we can be like, hey, you maybe need some support in this area. Do you know about all of these things? And so that's the first way that we connect with students. When they first get here, we go into classes and we're like, hi, here we are, do the survey, please. And we reach out to those ones and we make plans. We do little success plans. We offer all the pieces. We make connections, referrals. Then we also tell the students that, hey, we're really helpful, and if you need some support, come see us. So they do. We all have online calendar options, so you can actually go to the college website and look at the Student Success Facilitators page, and each one of us has a link to a Calendly page. You can just
make your own appointment.
Yeah.
I don't have to call or email or do anything else.
Nope.
Pretty simple.
Yeah. And then we also get alerts from faculty saying, hey, Leighton hasn't been to class for 3 weeks. That's totally...
That makes sense.
What a guy.
Very typical.
Yeah. Well, and if they say, this is actually really not typical, can you reach out? This is, maybe this is unusual behavior. Or maybe Reed, on the other hand, he never comes to class, and he's still not coming, and he missed a quiz. Can you reach out? And we reach out, and the great thing about our job is that we're not the punitive. We're not there to give you trouble.
Right.
We're like, hey, what's up? How can we help? What's going on? What do we need to do? What do you need to do to just about knock my mic over, to be more successful? So we do all of those things.
There you go. So I'm going to ask you a tough question. What do you love the most about your job?
I love the students. I love that they come in, and I love that they have something and they're feeling a little overwhelmed, or they're having some difficulty and they don't know where to turn. And then you can spend a little bit of time with them, and they're like, whoa, that just 10 minutes was whew, I feel a little bit better. There you go. Super instant gratification, win, win, win. They have some answers or some potential solutions, or plan A, plan B, alternate plan B, plan C. And
so how far do you guys go? Let's say you talk to a student and, the student, maybe is having some issues attendance wise or whatever. But then the student may kind of halfway meet you there, but isn't doing all the work. What is there anything in place that you guys do, or do you just kind of cut that student loose at that point?
We will never cut the student loose. It's kind of the students just has decided to let their line out much farther. And, you know, we're not the boss of you.
Right.
We're not your mom. We're not your teacher. We're not, you know, like, but we are always at the other end of that line. So if at some point you're like, oh, crap, and you want to come back, you can always come back. We're always there. Yeah. We do, like, multiple reach outs. Like, you know, if I email Leighton or Reed or someone and they don't email back, I'll check in again. Like, hey, what's going on? Or if somebody's like, whew, yeah, thanks for that check-in, Jana. I'm on it now. I'll start attending. You are right. Whew, and they make a plan and they're moving forward and they're doing all the right things, then brilliant, great, carry on.
Because a lot of times that's what it is, right? Just you need a kick in the butt, you know, or maybe just kind of like see what it is. And maybe a lot of times people get overwhelmed, especially like right now, where it's like we're in the middle of the semester, you know, exams are coming up. You know, it's like, what am I doing? You know, if you let one assignment go, I know last semester I let 1 or 2 assignments go. Next thing I knew, oh man, I was overwhelmed. I had just things piling up on top of each other. So yeah, trying to play catch up. So I guess last year would have been good to have come see you, right? But that's basically right. You know, like maybe you just need that little, you know, kick in the butt, or maybe like to see what it is that's going on, or like a different approach.
Yep, and some
right?
students can say like, oh, right, like, you know what, you're right. Thanks for the little friendly reminder that I need to get on top of this, and they don't want to come see, and they're good, and they just move forward. Some say like, oh, like I had my appendix out. And that's like, you know, so maybe I support the student in making a little bit of a plan to kind of come back. And some students are like, yeah, I'm really struggling. So we come in and we talk about maybe student wellness and accessibility, and we have a tremendous amount of resources. We have something called TAO. It's called Therapy Assistance Online. It's free to all the college students. You can log in with your college email address and create an account. And there's like wellness checks. And I hope nobody from student wellness is listening, because I kind of call it like WMIS, like a WMIS module online, but therapy. I'm sure that's not a really enthusiastic way, but I feel like it's a really good descriptive that helps manage expectations. So you can kind of work through these pieces online, whether it be in conjunction with seeing someone at student wellness, or maybe you're seeing some other community professional, or maybe you just, that's all you need, and that's okay too. But there's like guided meditations, all of the tools and tricks that we would suggest for someone who's maybe struggling with, whether it be the February blues or ongoing some pieces that they're struggling with their mental wellness. Or even if you're not, just general like cognitive behavior therapy change stuff. You want to make some changes and you need some strategies to do that.
So like tips and tricks just to kind of help your mental health in general.
Absolutely.
I remember I took a class for this last year, and it was all about like, there was breathing exercises, there was coloring exercises, there was a push to get you out and active, so physical education. So it kind of encompassed the whole embodiment of mental well-being, and that kind of is what I'm thinking. That's kind of what that
I feel like that should be part of like a curriculum, you know. It's like, because it's like we do all get sometimes overwhelmed, or you know,
part of every curriculum.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying, you know. So it's like we like once a week you have this class with your buddies, or you know, well, your classmates really, but they're your buddies, and you know, you do something, you know, you meditate, or maybe you do some yoga, or you know, you learn some breathing techniques, or just really anything to kind of like help manage stress. Stress management, that's what we could call it.
Is that what the class was called?
No way. Let me think about it. It was
Genie
stress
59.
stress something. Yeah, it was stress management, yes.
Was it an online class?
It was taught online.
Oh, yeah.
So there's no much real class time, but you had to take screenshots or send in your report of your coloring or whatever it did, or
You had a color.
Yeah,
sign me up.
One of my favorite ones was the weekly assignment. You get an assignment every week, and the first one was I had to color 4 or 5 butterflies, and just like over the course of how you're feeling.
Did you get to print them out? Or?
One of them was red and black. I was pissed off that day. The other one was green and blue. Like, you know what I mean? You have to snapshot send that in, so it kind of just gives you a little. I was angry in the day, and then come Tuesday I was fine. Here's blue and green. You know what I mean? So
that's cool. So cool. Yeah,
cool. Yeah.
Well, you know what's good too is I have an adult coloring book, and it's the same thing. You know, if I feel stressed, or if I'm feeling like today just like it sucked, you know, so I'll break it out, and it has like swear words, you know, but it's like it's like Mandela style, you know, so it's all got like. So you know, you just color it, and then it's like F you, and you're like, yeah, F you, and it's great, and it really does help to de-stress. Yeah.
So do you guys have like a quota of a certain amount of students you need to talk to or have under your umbrella or anything? Like, let's say this would never happen, but student mental health is good and not a lot of people are using your services, what happens then? Is there a quota that you guys have to go out and talk to people and set up meetings, or I'm sure that's never happened, right?
Never,
yes.
ever happened. I
Okay.
think in fact it's kind of always the opposite in that
Yeah.
we have like so many students that require support that, and I mean, as I say support, it can be like pretty just like check-ins and awareness and open doors and what happens when, and if I drop this class, what will I do? You know, like what are my, what happens?
So not only just personal, but you're there to kind of help them with maybe a future career implicating decisions and personal decisions as well. Eh?
Yeah.
So you guys have to know a lot more than just mental health and wellness kind of strategies.
Yeah,
right?
like we're not counselors.
Right.
So if somebody needs counseling, we will refer to student wellness.
Yep.
And the same with accessibility. If you have an IEP or you had an IEP in high school or you have some learning difficulties or mental health.
What's an IEP?
An individual education plan. So
Okay.
if you go to school in Ontario and you have some sort of learning difference or mental health or maybe a physical disability or a medical piece that would identify you as having a disability and you need some additional support, you probably had an individualized education plan in school. Or even if you have an undiagnosed disability that you maybe need some support getting diagnosis with, or
Really,
you have developed one, you are eligible to get some accommodations here on campus. So we would again refer to student wellness and accessibility. And for example, someone who has tremendous anxiety maybe wants to write their tests in the test center. They would meet with an accessibility advisor and talk about the accommodation process and the medical documentation required. And if you had an IEP, transferring it over. If you need some testing for learning difficulties or differences, all of those pieces. So we refer to our partners in student wellness and accessibility a lot for those things, but we also have resources. There's a peer-to-peer discussion group on Mondays. There's yoga for a healthy mind. That is yoga and a little bit of meditation on Thursdays at 11:30. There's the student success facilitators work with a counselor and do a Strive in Stress workshop on Wednesdays up here in the Innovation Hub. So there's lots of other pieces that we can do. But on a regular basis, I meet with somebody and we kind of talk about what's going on for you, what you need to have happen. And then we set up a little success plan that talks about like next steps. And sometimes we've mapped out what their assignments look like. We do some time mapping in their week maybe. Maybe we just make a priority plan.
So time management sounds like it's a lot, is an issue, right?
Oh,
it could be
sure.
probably one of the biggest issues, I would think.
Sure.
And I think time management is a pretty all-encompassing word. That's a little bit like time management and priority setting and goal development and just structuring what you have to do to not feel as overwhelmed and chunking out your tasks and chunking out your time.
Little bits every day type of thing. Yeah.
What's a good technique that I myself could apply tomorrow to be a better student?
Depends on where your deficits are. What aren't you very good at, Derek?
Oh no, I'm good at everything.
Don't ask his wife.
Yeah. No, but like my biggest struggle is and always has been time management. I've gotten better at it, so now what I do is I just keep a calendar right on my phone, and it's like I look at my phone and it's color coded. So I know it's like yellow means, it's like it's like workouts. I need to go to the gym or something. Blue means that's an assignment that I need to get done. Red is the class. So it's just kind of like I've done that, and so that's basically my has been my way out, has been to just color code and plan everything out on my phone, so that I can. So I know not only when my assignments are due, but when I need to work on them, and then the free time that I have in between things that I could do, the things that I actually want. Because if I leave it to myself, like to do, then I'm just gonna do what I want, and not what I need.
So that's exactly, those are all strategies that I would suggest to a student. But when you said that time management is the area that you're always working on improving, time management can look like a lot of different things. Like my husband, bless him, he has time management issues, but more like he's like, oh, that won't take long. So he's going to do these 3 things, and he thinks of this one, and I'm like, just think for a minute. How long is that one thing really going to take? By the time you get organized and find the things that you need to do, Like, oh, right, that's really a 6-hour job, not a 1-hour job. So
Yeah.
now you haven't done the other things that you had committed to today. So that's a form of time management. Somebody else in our household is a huge procrastinator.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I
I'm
will,
on that train.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a different kind of time management strategy that you'll need to put in place. So for myself, I say, like, what are my priorities today? About how long is it going to take, and when am I going to do them? So if I have an assignment, for example, okay, by 10 o'clock I'm going to start working on it. So if I want to sit around and drink coffee or walk the dogs or do something else, I need to have those things done before 10 o'clock because at 10 o'clock, the timers are my favorite.
Oh.
That's a good one. So you set a timer.
I love timers.
Can you explain that real quick?
So
mean
I
like
mean,
that?
I use my phone for
Okay.
everything. I also have an app that I use, like a to-do app. But I set a timer, like 10 o'clock, do my thing. So not only is it in my calendar and color-coded, but it also beeps when it's time. Or I set like countdown timer. So I'm like
To do or to finish?
usually to start because
Okay.
that's the hardest part for me. Yeah. But if it was somebody else who like has to transition, and if transitioning is a problem, then like whatever. But I tell students when they're studying to use timers all the time, I say let's go buy one of those little kitchen timers.
Yeah.
Ideally, one that has 2 different times, so you can set it for 20 minutes and you can set it for 5 minutes. That's my favorite. So it's a technique called the Pomodoro method, and Pomodoro is kind of a tomato.
I was going to mention this.
Yeah,
There we go.
yeah.
Let's get into that.
So it's a.
Did you learn that in your online class?
I might have.
And I mean, it's just any version of that. So the idea behind this study strategy is and again, because I'm a hard starter, I always say, set yourself what time you're going to start. Give yourself 10 minutes to get yourself organized. So you spend 10 minutes, you get your things, you turn your computer on, you fill your water, you go pee, you check your phone, you do the things. Then time, start, go. 20 minutes. 20 minutes, no distractions, study. If you need a countdown timer, put a countdown timer. Because like, oh my gosh, I feel like this has to be 20 minutes. You're like, oh, it's been 4.
No.
Yeah. But so when you kind of get used to the feeling of 20 minutes, you kind of get into the swing of things. The timer goes off, and then you stop. You set your 5-minute timer. You stand up, you touch your toes, you check your phone, you see what your friends are doing, you make plans, you fill your water glass, and then you go again. 5 minutes are done, break's over, 20 minutes starts from now. And then after 3 or 4 cycles, you maybe take a 20-minute break or an hour break, or you come out. So I always say chunk your time in 20 minutes. And when I'm making notes with students in time mapping, I call it, like, how many 20 minutes do you need to do today?
Yeah, I feel like I could do that, but my 20 minutes would be like 20 minutes of chill and 5 minutes of work.
The opposite.
That's
The opposite,
why
yeah.
you need the timers, because it's really easy to make that happen. Like, it's really easy to lose that 20 minutes the second you pick up your phone or the second you distract yourself by doing something else.
There's also like apps and I know like our phone too, they have like the do not disturb, well, on iPhones anyway, like they have a do not disturb function, so where like no phone calls unless it's like an emergency or something like that. Nothing goes through, no notifications. There's sites on the internet too that you can like shut down Facebook.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you won't like it won't even let you get into Facebook unless you go into this other website and log into that one to get into Facebook, right? So there are like a lot of really great techniques. And I feel like that's what it is, right? Is just get out of the distractions. I get distracted so easily. You know, I'm like Doug on Up. You know, the dog is like, squirrel. You know, and there I am, you know, chasing that squirrel. So it's
beep, 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 beep.
Yeah.
Timer to bring you back.
yeah, that's a good idea. I'm definitely gonna have to bring that in.
I'm with you there, but to be honest, if you look at society as a whole, it's not entirely our fault that we're distracted. Everything is made to get your attention, from advertisements to TV to the phone.
Whoa! I'm learning marketing, bro. It's like
marketing people.
Exactly. Everything. Your attention is invaluable.
Yeah.
If a brand or a company has your intention, they usually have your heart, and they usually have your wallet that comes attached with that. So, you know, like I said, it's not entirely our fault. It is our fault for maybe not being more disciplined. But when the world is set up to distract you, and there's so many different things in your household, from your loved ones to your cats to your dogs to your computers, everything wants a piece of your time. So it's really, I think, the message is just
who do you give your time to?
Who do you give your time to, and figuring out a discipline and a plan of action, whether it be the Pomodoro technique, whatever it is, that works for you. But you got to find something, because if you try to just go at it, you're going to sit on Facebook for 4 hours and do 2 minutes of studying.
And when I talk with students, I always ask them, like, what is your good time? Yeah. What works for you? When do you study? When do you naturally study? Are you a napper? Show of hands in here. Who's a napper? No. Reed's the only one.
We got Reed.
Yeah. But that's okay. But like, I'm like, oh, so Reed, when we're time mapping, I'm like, when do you nap? Let's put that in. Because if you think you should be studying and you're napping, your nap isn't really actually effective, because you have a little bit of like guilt and underlying. But if we wrote it out and we write from 4 to 6, nap.
That's a good nap.
Yeah.
2 hours? Yeah, I'll take it.
I'm not a napper, so I don't know how long.
That's solid nap. 2 hours, good nap. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But like, if you've done your 3 20 minutes before and you have 5 20 minutes later, then that nap is like totally fine. This is part of the plan. You are doing what you need to do to be well rested, to like, it's good. Same thing with the gym. You can, and I'm a huge rationalizer. Like, well, it's okay if I don't do this, if I do this instead. Mm-hmm. But that's why you have to kind of set your priorities, and like, what is more of a priority? What is a time-sensitive priority? How can you balance those pieces out? How can you fit all your priorities into the day?
Yeah.
So I've read and talked to other people and things like that, and a good technique, and I do this too, is like, you get up in the morning and you make your bed. You know what I mean? And that once your bed's made, you feel like you've already got things done. Now you can do more things. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I've also if you go to the gym or you do a little workout in the morning before you get your day started, you also feel like you get a little bit of that.
Yeah, there's I don't know his name, but there's a famous United States Navy admiral, and he wrote a book on start your day every day by making your bed.
Yeah.
Because you accomplish something as soon as you wake up, and it kind of sets your mental capacities in that, okay, I can accomplish things. Even if you do nothing for the rest of the day, you come home and you have a nice made comfy bed to crawl into. So,
I mean, you don't have to do the nurse's corner, because but you at least make your bed, do something. And like you said, it's something productive. Yeah. It's something that you do. And then, like you said, at the end of the day, and especially after you've had a long day that you got everything done, and you come home and it's like, man, my bed is nice and made.
But for all those people out there who just aren't ever going to do that, that's also okay. Like, and I always, like, sometimes if you just you can only do 10 things in a day, and making your bed isn't one of the most important things for you, like, whatever, skip that, floss your teeth, man, whatever your thing is.
That one has to be a thing, though. Flossing your teeth, please. Gingivitis is real.
Yeah, right.
But I'm just, like, sometimes you can't do all the things, so choose your priorities, know yourself, and kind of work within your own limitations, and that's okay.
Yes.
When you hear some of those, I don't know, is it The Rock or something, like one of those super famous healthy people gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, Marky Mark.
Marky Mark, it is for sure Marky Mark. Yeah, and like, good grief, what time do you go to bed if you need
like
to
7?
Yes.
Like his day is like 4 in the morning. Like, he gets everything done before people are like having dinner. Like, he's in bed like an old person. Yes,
I was gonna say, but and that works great for him, and that's fine. But if you like want to work out at 10 p.m., then don't beat yourself up for not doing it at 4 a.m. Like, whatever is kind of working, and you're like, what? So again, like, don't set yourself up to other people's standards, especially people that maybe have attention deficit, that are maybe, I can speak for myself, like a little neuroatypical. Like, I can't measure myself against Marky Mark. I don't have that. That's not my life. That's not my deal.
They also have a different lifestyle than we do.
But or even the Navy guy. Like, the Navy guy, he is on the far, like, A-type personality. I am over here in the Zeds. So that's never going to happen for me, and that's okay. I like the Zeds. I'm down with the Zeds, but it just means I have to do things a little different, and I have to find the pieces that work for me.
I think you said that exactly right. Like, I feel like a lot of times we are bombarded with magazine articles, like from The Rock, from Marky Mark, from Admiral, blah, 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 right? Where they're like, do this, do that, and you'll be successful. But you said they're A-type people, right? It's like, you know what? If you know that you're not an A-type people, if you know that it's like, you know what? I'm not an overachiever. I'm not the person that's going to get everything done. I'm not the one that's going to be a 4-point average. That's okay. But you need to be okay, and you need to accept that that's who you are, and that is okay. That is you.
It's your own definition of success.
Exactly. And success looks different to every single person.
Absolutely. Somebody wants success to be like they can make their living making music. Somebody else defines success as making $100,000 a year.
Right.
You know, like those are different things, and that's cool. I'm sure that one person doesn't want to trade for the other person's life, and vice versa.
Yeah. And you know, to be honest, that's something that everybody, I think, including myself, has struggled with, is quit comparing your timeline to others. And you hit on what's successful. So, you know, I'm 30, I'm still in school, getting through that. I still have friends who are younger than me, and they're making 100K living in Toronto, starting a family, buying their own house. But our timelines are all different. So that's a great point, Jana, is don't define your success by others. So, or your timeline, whatever it may be. So that's a great point.
So always prioritize, look at your goals, you know, make a plan, find someone to talk to if it's not your student success facilitator or your counselor, but I would say, like, who are the decision makers? Who are the people that you look to in your life when you're making decisions?
Not me. Don't look at me, you guys. That's
But like, talk to these people and have them help you make plans, use tools. For some people, it's like super analog, paper, calendars. Some people, it's digital, phone. Sometimes it's a little bit of both. Whatever it is that works for you. But there's tons and tons of support out there, and access as many as you need. And if one isn't working, don't feel bad to ditch it and try something new.
That's great. Yeah, that's a great message. Well, before we say goodbye here, I want to just say thank you for your time and coming on the Voice Podcast. And before we let you go, is there anything you would like to plug? Any of your anything going on all around the college coming up here in February, March that you'd kind of like to give a shout out to? If not, that's all good too.
I always have so
Good.
many things.
Okay.
One of my new favorite things is gym buddies. I don't know if anybody's heard about this.
What's this?
So, you know, we all know that physical exercise increases your wellness. So for some people, it could be a walk in the woods. I'm a outside kind of person, but you can't always fit that in, or sometimes it's minus a million like this weekend.
yeah, that was ridiculous.
But if you are someone who wants to go and access the Shack, which is free to students, full-time students, but you're a little bit intimidated. Maybe you don't know, you're the machines and they're doing the things. We've all seen the gym fails. We don't want to be that person. So there's a fitness and health student who is spending time as a gym buddy. So Leighton, you can be like, hey, gym buddy, let's go to the gym. And she'll go to the gym with you, take a little tour, do some things. It's not personal training. It's just going to the gym with a buddy, so you don't feel a little bit intimidated.
Right.
So you
Nice.
so I think that's one of my new favorite things.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because it could be, the gym could be intimidating. That is
for
true.
sure.
Like if you don't know what you're doing, or you don't know what machine does what, you know, it's like, yeah,
And
it's
sometimes like people are grunting, and it's a little bit,
there's some swole people at SLC,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
There's fitness and health dudes squatting 6 racks, and it's just like, okay. All right.
Mm.
Also, just so you all know, those plates are monstrous, and they aren't necessarily that heavy.
45 pounds, I think.
But
is
sometimes
one
I think
plate.
there's plates
Well, the
like-
colored ones, like the CrossFit ones and
Oh,
things
they
like
do-
that, like
they
the
do
yellow
that,
ones, I think
yeah.
are 25.
There's 10.
I
Yeah.
can look like
And they look big, but they're light,
squat,
yeah.
I love it. They're my favorite.
Big 10-pounders up on there for you, Jen.
Love it.
Awesome. Great.
So yeah, the gym buddies is my new favorite one.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your time. Really appreciate you coming on. We got some good tips and tricks. And I guess the overall message that we can take away from this is just keep on plugging away at it and find something that works for you, and utilize the resources that are here at the college. We have wonderful people like yourself to kind of help us all out. So thank you for your time, and I really appreciate you coming on. We'll talk to you next time.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Bye.
Well, pretty interesting. She had some good stuff to say. I really liked her point about how just find something that works for you and stick with it, because quit comparing your life and your successes to other people, and just find something that works for you.
Yeah, everybody's different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, it's like you may be older or younger, you know, and be doing more things than maybe me, you know, but it doesn't matter. You know, because it's like, I define success differently than how you define success. Yep. And my what motivates me and what gets me going, what gets me out of bed every morning is different from you.
Everybody.
You know? Yep. So, yeah, it's definitely a good point. It's a lot of good things came of that. You know, I didn't really know or understand what a student success facilitator did. Yeah. You know, so it's like being able to like, and like the way I see it, the way she explains it, she's like a life coach.
Yes.
You know, like she helps you you know, find time, find tricks and tips and, you know, things, you know, of how you can be more successful in your studies, you know, and a lot of these things are transferable, you know, so it's not just for school, because everyone here is going to go on a job.
Good point.
You know what I mean? So those skills, like time management skills, and there's something I didn't know, there's different types of time management, you know, or different types of time wasting. you know. So
What do you think about the Pomodoro technique that she kind of chatted about there with the timers, and you only focus on what you have to do for 20 minutes. Timer goes off, you got 5 minutes to chill. Do that 4 times, then you get a 20-minute break. I kind of like that. I might have to give that a try.
I've tried like timers or like giving myself like I feel like if I'm going to do something like set myself a timer, I'll just like do another task, you know, like a multitask type of thing. So like maybe I'm making dinner, you know, maybe I'm making spaghetti, right? So it's like I'll put the pasta to boil and boom, 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 I'll bang out like a quick assignment, or not like bang it out, but, you know, I'll just like, you know, get started, or, you know, something, right? And then boom, pasta's done, you know, next thing, you know, and then I can just kind of like.
Is your keyboard covered in sauce?
So much sauce.
Just a question?
Oh, yes. I type.
All right.
Yeah.
So we got the sauce boss over here of assignments. Well, you know what? Pretty cool. I thought it was a good episode. I'm glad we covered that, because there is a lot of that going around, that stigma around mental health and just finding motivation this time of year. So I'm glad we covered it. And Jana's awesome. And again, if you guys at home or watching, listening, have kind of anything like that that's going on, just know that there are tons and tons of resources at the school and in our community for you guys to utilize. So don't be afraid to ask for help, and just kind of find a plan that works for you.
Yeah, all these resources are here. They're included in your tuition. Yeah. Use them. Take advantage of them. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, appreciate you allowing me behind the mic today. It was a lot of fun. I do enjoyed being here. Reed, awesome job playing with the switches, my man. We'll give you some love. And thanks again for another great episode, guys. We'll see you next time.
All right. Awesome. See you next time.